since they were probably recorded 50 years ago. That was pretty amazing for me to hear. And I guess what I want to say is when we left San Diego, we didn't know anyone in our family other than we had 2 cousins that came out and visited us that were much older than us. And they were the Marchessault family, so they were our mom's side of the family, and it was Jerry and Joe Marchessault. And we didn't even know who they were because we were so young when we left Minneapolis. And they came out, they stayed with us in San Diego, and they had this fake snake. And they kept convincing us that it was a real snake. And we just knew that it was true because there were big people telling us that it was a real snake, and they'd keep it in a bag. And that was like our only, it was my only idea of even having any other relatives. So you guys all grew up with these cousins in the same town, but we were living in California and we didn't really even have, we were so young we didn't even have a concept of cousins. So when Mom moved us back to Minneapolis, we got to know a pretty big group of cousins, and it was a wonderful year to be 5 and 6 and then 7 years old. I think I was just turning 5 as we moved there, or maybe I was just turning 6, then I turned 7 now as we were leaving. But we became friends with our cousins that were largely our same age. And Mom was trying to take care of all of us, and we were in a Catholic school, and I had just the meanest witch of a teacher that you've ever met in your entire life.
Yeah.
And she wasn't a nun. She wasn't a nun. But I was apparently, I don't remember this, but apparently I was constantly telling Mom that I was too sick to go to school. She couldn't figure out why does Patrick not want to go to school? And then right before she went to Hawaii that you guys saw, it was Valentine's Day. And I was too sick to go to school, but I wrote a personal Valentine's card for every single
You'd
class.
been home for like 10 days with strep throat.
Okay.
Oh.
So I'd written a personal Valentine card to every single person that was a classmate. And Rick, who was in 3rd grade, walked down the hall, walked into my 1st grade class and said, "Where's Patrick Robbins' desk?" And the kids pointed, and the teacher wasn't there yet. And he put a big stack of Valentine's cards on my desk, and he told the kids, "Well, these are from Patrick to you." So class started, he goes back to his classroom. And a few minutes into his 3rd grade class, the door burst open, and my teacher, with all of the cards that he had put on my desk, said, "Who is Rick Robbins?" And Rick raised his hand, and she threw all of the cards across the room to him and said, "There is no Valentine's Day in our class."
What?
She walked out.
And she said, "Patrick
True
Robbins
story.
knows that we don't waste time with this stuff in my
Oh my gosh, you're kidding.
Threw them
Across the room.
across the room to Rick, who's a 3rd grader, sitting there watching this. So your grandmother calls the principal.
Oh my God.
This isn't the first time that she's talked to the principal, she says. She's going to remember it a little bit differently, but even at a young adult age, I've been through the story a number of times with her. That's how I remember it.
Okay.
I remember her calling the principal and saying, "I'm about to go meet my husband who is in the war in Hawaii. When I get back from Hawaii, if she still has a job, I'm going to come for your head on a silver platter." And when she came back, she was fired.
Really?
My 1st grade teacher was gone,
Really?
removed. So,
Woo!
grandma, mother, come, taking care of her.
Grandma always had our backs.
But when Dad came back, what I remember is him hearing that I was still on training wheels, and he said, "You're what? You're on training wheels?" And he said, "Patrick, we're taking your training wheels off." And he took off on my training wheels, and I first started to ride a bike without training wheels. When Grandpa Robbins came back from the war. And I remember the significance of this recorder is that, and it took me a while in my adult life to realize that this wasn't common. I mean, none of my friends had this. But as kids, we would crawl around Grandpa or Grandma almost every night, and there would always be a reading section. And he'd read it like the Dr. Seuss voices in the cartoons on TV. I mean, it was like the highlight of the day to sit around Grandpa and just hear him read stories. So, you know, when he left and there was this recording thing, we just really remember that as a big moment. We would get these tapes, we'd get the books, and we'd open them, and the tape would go, and we'd sit around, and we'd listen to these things. And I just can't believe that we just heard these voices again for the first time in 50 years. So I think that for all of you guys and girls, be grateful that you've kind of grown up, because Connor, most of our lives, we grew far away from all of our cousins. You know, all of our cousins were in Minneapolis and Minnesota. We were in Troy. And for those of you guys in town, I mean, really enjoy it, because we really missed our cousins when we moved away, and it's a blessing to have them. And if we can get you back, Connor, we got to get you back here so you can close with all your cousins. Those are my thoughts. Thanks, Dad. Party. We just love you.